Hey, good morning, folks. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Summer heat is not over, but it's going to take a big break for a couple of days. We have a cold front with some thunder showers moving through right now. Nothing severe, and having a hard time extending to the southwest, so there will be parts of the area that even get missed by rainfall. Show that to you in a second, and then I'll also show you the heat that's starting to build in. So let me see if we got the latest here. Okay, so we have a new run. So all right, here's our high resolution rapid refresh. This is a radar forecast. So this is, what I like to call fantasy land. It's very good modeling, but this isn't actual. This is going to be a forecast in the future. 10 in the morning, 11 noon. And this is what happens in the midday with light thunder showers at this time of the year. They dissipate some. So Grand Rapids, you could have a shower around, but, most of the day is going to be dry. This is 1 in the afternoon, 2, 3, 4. And then typically what happens again in the heat of the afternoon, we see thunderstorms increase some. And it wants to put together a line of thunderstorms, let's call it, in through the Thumb, down through the Saginaw area, and heading southward, a very classic spot. But again, notice Lansing and Jackson and Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, dry, and Detroit and Ann Arbor might stay mostly dry until maybe late this evening, too. So it's not going to be a really wet day. This is back to the current. In the north, you have kind of a wet morning, definitely on the way. But in the south, just cloudy and maybe an occasional shower. Now, here is the total rainfall off of that same model. So it gives you a good feel for who could get skipped. And, you see places like Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo and Jackson and Lansing, Ann Arbor, and part of Detroit, no measurable rainfall whatsoever. And sorry, Rose, McGill, Mitchell, Muskegon, probably not much rainfall other than maybe a few hundredths or so. All right, now then we go to a cool down and then heat building. All right, so here's our cold front coming through. It'll be through the area tonight, and then we get into a northerly wind. And we get a kind of a chilly punch of air. And by Thursday morning with the light winds, we're going to be pretty chilly. 40s. I'll show that to you in a second. And then Friday we start our warm up, and then we're fairly dry. We go into Saturday. It looks like a warm, dry pattern. We go into Sunday, we're getting into a southwesterly wind. The hot air back here is coming toward us. So I would call Sunday fairly hot for early September. And Labor Day looks quite hot on a southwesterly flow. And next Tuesday looks quite hot and probably not breaking down until sometime late next week. And note that this could be Idalia. As tropical systems hit the East Coast, remember, it blows up a ridge around us and stops any cold air from moving downward. So if we start to get activity on the East Coast next week, that would also point toward hot temperatures. Now, some of you, I'm going to address this. Some of you are emailing me and saying, hey, my weather app says 107 for a high next week. No, that's pretty excessive, and I'll show you where those apps are getting it. And if your app does say 107, you should ditch that app because it's no good. Now, what this is the surface temperature anomaly. So it shows you, what I'm trying to show you here is that we're going to go into a cool pattern. This is tomorrow morning. Places are going to be 10 degrees colder than normal, and tomorrow afternoon is going to be 10 to 15 degrees colder than normal. And Thursday morning, and then Then as we get to Friday afternoon, we start to go back to about normal. And then as we go to Saturday afternoon, we start to go slightly above normal. And then as we go to Sunday afternoon, we start to go to significantly above normal, 10 to 15 degrees warmer than normal. And Labor Day also, Labor Day very warm, 15 to 20 degrees warmer than normal. It'll be, I guess I would call it a hot Labor Day. And Tuesday, 15 to 20 degrees hotter than normal. And Wednesday, still hot in the southeast. And Thursday also. So we got a hot week for this time of the year coming up. So what does that mean on real temperatures? Pamela Todoroff, what causes that anomaly? The weather patterns around the northern hemisphere are just an average of a lot of anomalies. Think of the old lava lamp. You turn that bulb on and the blobs traveled around, and that's what our weather does, is we get cold blobs and hot blobs traveling around the globe. Sometimes we're under a cold blob, sometimes we're under a hot blob, and sometimes for a few days we're in between. All right, so today you're still near 80 in Ann Arbor and Detroit and Jackson, while the northern part of Michigan, northern lower Michigan, in the 60s. Now tomorrow, like I said, will be kind of a shocker. Tomorrow will be highs in the 60s. What's going on? Summer's over? No. Thursday will be hard to argue with in the low 70s. Friday will be hard to argue with because it's Friday, and highs will be in the upper 70s with sunshine. Then Saturday back to the low 80s. Then Sunday upper 80s to near 90 in most places. Then Labor Day, probably, let's call it 89 to 94 degrees on Labor Day. And Tuesday, let's call it in the 90s, low to mid 90s. And Wednesday, low to mid 90s. And Thursday, low to mid 90s in at least the southeast, while the cooler air somewhat starts to work in the northwest. Now, I did want to show you, okay, so, all these emails, well, are we going to be 107? 107 would be historic for mid-July, and it would be even more historic for early September. And where are we getting this, or where are apps getting this? This is the U.S. model, not very good. I'm ashamed of it, that we put all of this money and energy into it, and it's still not as good as the European. Why? Why don't we have, we have better meteorologists. So this is the U.S. model, and some apps just take the straight output, which that's why I say you should ditch your app. If you're seeing 107 next week, you have the wrong app. What app is out there that's good? I don't know, because I don't look at those kind of things. So this is the forecast from the GFS on Sunday. 104 in Traverse City, no. 111, 113 in Minneapolis, no. This is Monday. No. 112 in Green Bay on September 1st, no. And these models get what we call meteorological cancer, so that if they're off a little bit on day 1, then they're off more on day 2, and then they're way off day 7, 8, 9. Next Tuesday, no. 90s, certainly possible, but it's hard to hit 100 in Michigan in July, let alone early September. All right, so let's go back. I don't want to leave it on that. So somebody says, hey, Mark Torregrossa said it was going to be 107. No. Hopefully you get the point. But it will certainly be hot next week, in the 90s. I would call it 90 to 95 is probably a good thing, and a lot of 93 or 94s. Hey, Derek Aston, I am his weather app. Thank you very much. I would like to develop an app. If there's any good app developers out there, I got all the stuff that I need to put it together. I just don't have the aptitude or the money. So If you want to do it for me, we can work something out. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thank you for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Get ready for a couple of shockingly cool days and then a couple of shockingly hot days. Of course, as you know it, Michigan weather, shocking. Take care.